Tonight on CTV News at 6. Deadly collision.
Both drivers were pronounced deceased at the scene.
2 people were killed yesterday on Highway 144 near Chelmsford. So much came down in such a short time.
Like, we know how to move snow.
Crews in Timmins are working as fast as they can. And they are some of the best in Canada.
We got to play a U18 team last night that played really well.
North Bay is hosting 2 provincial curling championships.
CTV News at 6 with Tony Ryma and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. Thanks for being with us on this Wednesday, January 7th. Let's start in Greater Sudbury, where there was tragedy on the roads. 2 people were killed yesterday in a head-on collision. Details now from CTV's Amanda Hicks.
It's a quiet scene on Highway 144 today, a sharp contrast to last night. The stretch between Lively and Chelmsford was shut down for nearly 8 hours after a minivan and pickup truck collided head-on south of Forest Ridge Road at 5:30 p.m.
Both drivers were pronounced deceased at the scene. A 53-year-old male from Sudbury was pronounced deceased, and a 58 female from Caperville was found deceased at the scene. Third person, which was a passenger in one of the vehicles, was transported to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries.
This marks a grim milestone, the first fatality of the new year, just 6 days into 2026, as investigated by West Nipissing OPP.
In the winter, not a day goes by that I don't have somebody reaching out to me.
Nickel Belt MPP France Gélinas says she hears from constituents daily about dangerous road conditions, and she blames the province's privatized maintenance system.
On Highway 144, one contractor does a pretty decent job. The other contractor never comes out. The road is horrible, and only after many complaints will they send someone, but they cover hundreds and hundreds of kilometers. So by the time the snowplow starts at one end, it takes hours before they're at the other end. It was never like this when it was a public system that made a winter road maintenance.
Police say the winter months leave little room for error. They are urging drivers to be extra vigilant as weather conditions remain unpredictable.
Our reaction time is slower. Vehicles slide on wet pavement, on icy pavement, on snowy pavement. So people need to adjust their driving to the weather conditions.
Now investigators are still trying to piece together how this tragedy occurred. If you have any information or dash cam footage, reach out to police or Crime Stoppers. Amanda Hicks, CTV News, Sudbury.
And CTV News has reached out to the Minister of Transportation for comment. We have not yet received a response. One person in Iroquois Falls has been arrested for attempted murder. Monday morning's heavy police presence was connected to a discharged firearm at a home on Campion Street. Police say the 40-year-old suspect fled the area and was later found on Big Nelly Lake Road. While no one was injured, police have charged the person with 16 weapons, assault, and mischief offenses. The shelter-in-place order for a Kirkland Lake neighborhood has been lifted. The order had been in place yesterday afternoon for the Prospect Avenue and Government Road area after an assault was reported. Provincial police have a suspect in custody and say there is no longer a threat to public safety. A 41-year-old man from Kirkland Lake stands charged of assault with a weapon, pointing a firearm, and several other charges. Since New Year's Eve, crews in Timmins have moved more than 2,600 dump truck loads of snow and expect to add hundreds more over the next 4 to 6 weeks. City officials say they don't have the capacity to move the snow any faster. CTV's Lydia Chubak has more.
City of Timmins officials say the biggest challenge facing public works crews is the volume of snow that came within a short time frame.
That snowstorm of 60 plus centimeters, followed by the 15 we had the 2 days before, 75 centimeters, that's usually 3 to 4 storm events for us, or snow events for us on a normal, spread over a couple weeks, that we got all within a couple days. Like
any other workplace, Curcel's team is also short-staffed.
Like most industries, we're not fully staffed up. We have a lot of new people that don't have a lot of experience. So, and then we rely on contracted services, for the rest of the work we do.
With more than 2,600 dump truck loads of snow moved since New Year's Eve and hundreds more to go, Kersell says it's unrealistic to think this is a 1 or 2 week situation.
Like, we know how to move snow, Lydia. Like, this is our bread and butter. It's just, there's a lot. Just in Schumacher alone, the first day, I think we were at 302 loads. We're not going to refuse anybody. If someone wants to drive up from Sudbury with their trucks and help us out, we're going to take them. We're not going to ask the other smaller municipalities to put aside what they're doing to help us.
The reality of our situation is that we're going to be digging out from this storm for easily another month, if not longer. The significant weather event that was declared by Public Works is in place, and it's going to remain in place for the foreseeable future. We are expecting another 10 centimeters of snow next weekend.
Impeding efforts is residents dumping snow on sidewalks.
We have sidewalks that we are not going to be able to open until March because people have dumped 20-foot piles on top, and our equipment cannot get through those piles.
Despite challenges, Kersell is proud of the progress being made.
Watching the dedication of the department to just keep plugging away until we get caught up has kind of been the most proud moment so far.
When it comes to school bus transportation, the city says school boards will have to decide what should be done. Kersell says about 90% of school zones within the city have been cleared. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Timmins.
Meantime, the city of Sault Ste. Marie also updating people on its storm progress. In a Facebook post, city officials say they've received over 100 centimeters of snow this past week. Freezing drizzle is possible and that crews are working around the clock, removing 20,000 cubic meters of snow daily. So let's talk weather. The warm-up has arrived and many are wondering how long will it last? To tell us more, let's bring in CTV's Rick Wyman. Rick.
Tony, a few more days, then we'll get rain or snow by Friday and some snow in some areas, as we just heard in that report from Lydia. We'll take a look at our systems map right now. And again, this is what we've got going. We've got the risk of freezing drizzle. And again, the risk of drizzle and some flurry activity, some light snow here, there, and everywhere, but milder temperatures. It's going to hit 5 degrees. That's kind of crazy coming up in just a couple of days, so we'll get back to that. Want to tell you that we've got Shane Gordon, the manager of lottery and websites over at Health Sciences North, to tell us more about a great piece of equipment, and I had a chance to see it just the other day. It's called a jaundice meter, and it's all thanks to the 50/50 draw at HSN.
Yeah, so not our biggest piece of equipment that we purchased by any means, but a really important one. This little machine here is, it's got a sensor on the bottom, uses light to reflect onto the baby's skin and then back in, and it measures the reflectivity of that skin to see if there's more blood tests that need to be done for jaundice. Like I said, small piece of equipment, but an extremely important one for the health of babies, and it was used over 1,500 times last year. And
not the most expensive piece of equipment that you bought.
No,
here.
that's right. This is a relatively inexpensive one that I can pick up and carry around. There's some major pieces around the hospital that we are not able to pick up and carry around, including a $2.3 million investment into the ARC, the O-arm in the surgical suite, renovations for chemo bunkers, radiation bunkers, tons of stuff.
Okay, you opened up a store in the new Sudbury Centre to give people access to be able to buy HSN 50/50 tickets. How was that over the course of the holidays?
It was really fun. There's been a way for a little while for people to buy tickets in the community at convenience stores, but it was the first time we'd been in the mall for any meaningful length of time. We've been there for days here and there on some Saturdays leading up to Christmas, but this time around, being in there for a full month was a really great opportunity to kind of get ourselves in with the community, hear what people have to say about the lottery and healthcare, and share the stories about what the impact of the 50/50 is able to do. And it's just great to get that down-to-earth, one-to-one, face-to-face chat with the people that play. It's just really cool.
And what are they telling you?
They're telling us that they want us back in the mall, first of all, but also the people are thrilled at the chance to win $1 million.
Okay, everybody's excited. You're excited. I'm excited. I'm excited for the next winner. So tell me about the buzz in the community.
I mean, the buzz is there's $1 million to be won just at the end of the week on Friday. The deadline's coming up at 11:59 p.m. on Thursday. If people want their chance to become the next millionaire here in Sudbury or here in Ontario, get your tickets today at hsn5050.ca.
Okay, listen to Shane. It's that easy. Remember, you can't win without a ticket. I'll be back a little bit later on with more from HSN.
Thanks for that, Rick. He's a councillor with the City of Greater Sudbury. Still to come on CTV News at 6. How much does Bill the Duke have to pay in legal fees? But first, Let's head to North Bay. This webcam is courtesy of the City of North Bay. It's -2 degrees. We'll return after these brief commercial messages.
Fuel your Fridays with CTV and Pure Country. Enter online for a chance to win a $100 gas gift card. Fuel your Fridays. Powered by CAA. Life isn't one size fits all. Neither is CAA.
Time now for a look at the Mayor's Chair. Once a week, we check in with local mayors to see what's happening in their community and some of the situations they're dealing with. Joining us tonight in the Mayor's Chair is Mayor Doug Gervais from the town of Espanola. Mayor Gervais, welcome.
Welcome, and thank you very much for having me today.
I want to start with one of the big things sticking out for me when I think about Espanola. We saw a lot of heartbreak with the closure of the Domtar plant, and then there was news of new life, a new buyer. What's the latest, and where do things stand with the property?
Well, right now, BMI is looking at the mill. They're in the forestry-related industries. They have house-related industries. They want to attract different kinds of business to the property to make an industrial hub that would be a part of the network of industrial properties they own across the country. It's an incredible property with infrastructure, hydroelectric dam, and rail access to the possibilities and are tremendous. Yes, 2025 was an amazing year for Espanola. And like I say, despite the mill closure, the residential development has been at all-time high, with 43 new residential units being built in 2025 alone. So, and the community has come together despite the closure. And I'm really proud, and they should be proud of themselves here in Espanola for sure.
Have the new owners given you any kind of indication if they'll need more people employed under their wing and how soon it might take for them to be up and running?
As far as the how soon, it's a hard one because they got to get all their everything together that they need to start. But there definitely will be more hiring of employees for sure. They guarantee that there's going to be, now how many we don't know. The more the better, of course, to get people back to Espanola that left for work. But yeah, they have said that there will be new hires for sure.
That's great news for Espanola for sure. One thing I wanted to chat with you about is we seem to be seeing a lot of drugs make their way up to Northern Ontario from down south, either to Espanola, through Espanola to Manitoulin Island. Has that been a concern for you, and what have police told you about their drug strategy?
Well, the police have very increased all their ride programs and they've been doing many stop programs where they stop many vehicles coming through Espanola just to check, and they've really intensified that because we know there's an issue here, and they've been really working, and they've had a couple of breakthroughs in that, and they've got in charge many of the perpetrators for sure.
That's good to hear. Two quick things I want to ask you about before we run out of time. The Espanola Arena had to close this week because of a Zamboni issue. Where did things stand there?
We've replaced the Zamboni right now. We've ordered from a great community of Blind River, helped us out, and we're back in business. And we should have ours shortly going by the next 2 or 3 days, we hope.
That's good to hear for the Paper Kings for sure. Finally, we've got the Rural Ontario Municipal Association meeting coming up. You're going to have a chance to maybe talk with some provincial ministers as we head into this new year. What's at the top of Mayor Gervais and Espanola's wish list?
We're going to be talking about infrastructure money, grants that we can obtain, and we're trying a couple other delegations for just to see what we can do in the surrounding area so we can work better with other communities. Those are a couple of the highlights for us.
That is Mayor Doug Gervais from the town of Espanola.
Thanks, Ian. A Sudbury City Councillor has been ordered to pay $63,000 in legal fees linked to a defamation suit he chose not to follow through with. The case stems from allegations by a private citizen that Councillor Bill Leduc breached the Municipal Elections Act. CTV's Alan Everson reports.
We met with the plaintiff and city councillor in the case, Bill Leduc, for his reaction to the decision on costs in the case. A judge has ordered him to pay a total of $63,000 in legal fees to a private citizen and the city.
My reason for pulling the case last summer was due to the fact that the Election Compliance Committee was waiting on the outcome of these two cases, which would have potentially had an impact on moving forward for them. So I want to expedite the Election Compliance Audit Committee, where I know I will be proven innocent.
The judge's decision orders Leduc to pay Anastasia Rioux just over $33,000 and the city $30,000 for legal costs. In a statement, the defendant, Anastasia Rioux, says in part, "I believe deeply in truth, integrity, and rule of law. I expect the same for those who serve in public office. Fairness in elections is fundamental to a healthy democracy, and I will always stand by the principle of a level playing field for all." It goes on to say, "I sincerely hope this lawsuit doesn't discourage citizens from standing up for what is right and just in the future out of fear of retaliation." We reached out to the city and in a statement says in part, "This latest ruling affirms the integrity of the independent process required by the Municipal Elections Act. It awards the city $30,000 in costs, ensuring taxpayers are not held fully responsible for the legal expenses incurred to defend the action." At one point, Leduc filed a motion for his former lawyer to foot the legal bills for delays and absences, but the judge has ruled Leduc is responsible for paying them.
The Law Society of Ontario did reach out to me recently and have had discussions with me. So I'm looking forward to seeing what evolves from that.
Leduc would not comment if he plans to run again in the upcoming municipal election this fall. Alana Everson, CTV News, Sudbury.
And the City of Greater Sudbury no longer has an Auditor General. In a news release from the Mayor's office, Council voted unanimously to close the office effective New Year's Eve. The position was created in 2009 by Council, making Sudbury one of only 5 municipalities in the province to fund such a role. In a statement, the Mayor says the city will continue to be audited independently every year as required by law. There could be labor disruptions later this month at Laurentian University in Sudbury. That's after negotiations between the school and its faculty hit a snag. We get more from CTV's Angela Gemmell.
Right now on campus, classes and other activities continue as scheduled, but that could change later this month.
A strike at this point is a definite possibility, especially if important matters cannot even be negotiated at the table.
Laurentian University and the union representing its 700 faculty have been negotiating a new contract. But on December 29th, the Ministry of Labour filed a no-board report signaling there's an impasse between the two sides and triggering a 17-day countdown to a strike deadline.
To see our pension plan out of the administration's hands. So the wish to move to a jointly sponsored pension plan. And right now, the exit loan agreement contains restrictions that would require the approval of the ministry. So the Ministry of Colleges, Universities, Research Excellence and Security.
The ministry said in a statement to CTV that they don't have any part in the negotiations, despite a November charter challenge issued by LUFA, arguing restrictions within the 2022 loan agreement interfere with free collective bargaining. That loan helped Laurentian to improve some of its financial troubles.
Given all the sacrifices the members made during the CCAA, all the extra work they did to ensure the survival of the institution, they deserve a lot better.
CTV attempted to speak to students on campus, but they either weren't aware of the potential strike or didn't have enough information to comment. However, the school issued a detailed message to its community this afternoon saying, in part, the university remains dedicated to negotiating in good faith to find an agreement that is fair to LUFA members while protecting the long-term financial sustainability of the university. Colette says the members have already given the union a 98% strike mandate. Over the next 10 days, the two sides will work with a provincial mediator to resolve any outstanding issues before the strike deadline of January 19th. Angela Gemmell, CTV News, Sudbury.
All right, back now for a check on your current conditions. Here's Rick.
Even better tonight, Tony, as compared to last night and the previous night. It's getting warm outside. Forecast radar right now throughout Northeastern Ontario. And again, we've got a system moving in on Friday with the chance of rain or snow. It's about a 50-50 proposition right now, but hope to have further details coming up by tomorrow night. Let's take a look at what's happening currently. Moosonie, it's a balmy -8, Cochrane -4, Timmins -5, and Kapuskasing at -5 degrees as well. And here we are, stuck in no man's land, trying to advance to our next system. We'll see what we can do. What can I say, Tony? This happened a couple of weeks ago, and it's back once again. So again, we're stuck in no man's land. I can't advance past Kapuskasing, Moosonie, Cochrane, and Timmins. So we'll take a look at the 7-day forecast, and we'll also feature the pick of the day and a lot more, and hear from Anthony Keating from Health Sciences North about what the fundraising of the 50-50 program does for the hospital. So more on that coming up. Back to you.
Thanks, Rick. The two sides are coming together next on CTV News at 6. U.S. officials will meet with their counterparts in Greenland in talks to buy the country. And Prime Minister Mark Carney is going to China next week, attempting to thaw relations. After the U.S. attacked Venezuela, Greenland residents are no longer considering U.S. President Donald Trump's words as empty threats, especially with renewed threats to their sovereignty this week. CTV's Judy Trin has that story.
Greenland's vast expanse contains valuable, untapped natural resources. U.S. President Donald Trump covets the territory in the name of national security.
He views it in the best interest of the United States to deter Russian and Chinese aggression in the Arctic region. And so that's why his team is currently talking about what a potential purchase would look like.
The White House has not set a price. It prefers to acquire Greenland through diplomacy, but will not rule out using military force. Greenlanders like Inuit activist Aju Peter fear Trump will attack her birthplace, like he did in Venezuela.
It startled me. Some time ago, I didn't take it seriously, but now seeing what the President of the United States can do, it's a real threat.
The semi-autonomous Danish territory is home to 56,000 people, protected by NATO.
If the Americans attack or try to annex Greenland, Denmark will have to invoke Article 5 in NATO that says that NATO countries have to come and help us against that attack. The Americans would, of course, veto that, and then NATO would be finished.
Greenland shares a border with Canada on Hans Island in the Arctic Ocean. Now both have faced American threats of annexation.
We stand with Denmark, we stand with Greenland. Our closest partnership is with the United States, and we'll work with everybody to make sure that we move forward together.
The Prime Minister says Canadian forces can protect the Arctic from Russian and Chinese threats. What the military alliance can't do is protect member nations from an ally. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
U.S. officials have seized 2 oil tankers linked to Venezuela as the Trump administration cracks down on sanctioned oil vessels.
The vessel this morning was seized in the North Atlantic pursuant to a warrant issued by a U.S. federal court after being tracked. And this was a Venezuelan shadow fleet vessel that has transported sanctioned oil. And the United States of America, under this president, is not going to tolerate that.
One of the vessels, a Russian-flagged tanker, was seized in the waters between Scotland and Iceland after evading capture for more than 2 weeks. Another tanker was seized in the Caribbean. Officials say the tankers were either last docked in Venezuela or on their way to the country. It comes amid President Trump's demands for more access to Venezuelan oil.
This was a deal. This was a deal made by the president and his team with the Venezuelan interim authorities. This will benefit both the American people and the Venezuelan people. And Secretary Wright and the Department of Energy are working with the interim authorities and also with the private oil industry to execute on this historic energy deal. That's not only good for the United States, but it's also going to revive the prosperity, the safety, the security of both the United States and Venezuela as well.
U.S. officials say a deal was struck with Venezuela's interim government to have up to $2 billion worth of crude oil being exported to the States. The Trump administration has demanded Venezuela give American companies access to the country's oil industry or risk more military intervention. Trump has also stated that the U.S. will control proceeds from the sale of Venezuelan oil. Prime Minister Mark Carney will be heading to China next week. The visit comes on the heels of the Prime Minister's meeting in Paris with Ukraine's allies. The Prime Minister's office says Carney will travel to China from January 13th to the 17th to, quote, elevate engagement on trade, energy, agriculture, and international security. This will mark the first visit to China by a Canadian Prime Minister since 2017. RCMP border integrity officers arrested a man in Sault Ste. Marie after he illegally crossed into Canada. U.S. Border Patrol alerted Canadian authorities to the potential crossing after the man declared his intention to enter Canada while at a U.S. business. The man walked across a rail bridge into the country and was tracked to a business on McNabb Street in the Soo, where he was taken into custody. The man was returned to the U.S. and issued an exclusion order. And there's more news still ahead, but first, your full weather forecast with Rick.
I'll get it right, Tony. You know that. Forecast radar as issued by Environment Canada. Here we go. We've got a system coming in Friday. Chance of rain or snow in the northeast. And right now, Environment Canada says it's a 50-50 proposition. We'll check that out. Hopefully, we'll have some further details coming up by tomorrow evening. Predominant flurry activity right across the northeast overnight. The temperatures nice and mild. And again, we'll check out and see what else is happening here in terms of some of the temperatures right now. Here we go again, stuck in neutral. There we go. Here we go. Moosonee, cloudy skies, minus 13 for this evening. Chance of flurries again. Caphurst, Wawa, Gorbet, and some drizzle activity as well. Parry Sound with the chance of flurries. Now let's go to our 7-day numbers. Sudbury Nickel Belt, we've got the chance of drizzle tomorrow at 2, 5 degrees Friday. Saturday, -5, -9 on Sunday, -5 on Monday, and the chance of flurries on Tuesday at -4 degrees. How about Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma? Mostly cloudy tomorrow at 3, 5 degrees on Friday with the chance of sleet. Flurry activity Saturday and Sunday, and Monday and Tuesday. Take a look at the temperatures. -6, -2, and of course the normal for this time of the year sits at about -5 degrees. Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, some cloud cover tomorrow at 3, periods of snow Friday at +1, -8 Saturday, -13 Sunday with the chance of flurries. More of the same on Monday, but warming up to -5, -8 with cloud cover on Tuesday. So again, your normal for this time of the year sits at -11. Temiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake, chance of drizzle tomorrow at 3, snow or rain Friday at 4. -7 on Saturday. Sunday cooling down to -10 with a chance of flurries, but then warming up on Monday, chance of flurries at -5 and -4. Even better, chance of flurries at 30%. So again, a variation in temperature and conditions, and of course, well above normal. North Bay, West Nipissing, here we go with clearing for tomorrow at +2. Friday, rain or snow. Again, we don't know which way this is going to go. Flip a coin. 6 degrees there, -4 on Saturday. Sunday, -6, -5 on Monday, and Tuesday, the chance of flurries for a couple of days. So you get colder at -6 to -5, then warming back up again at -2 degrees. Let's take a look at our pick of the day. And these pileated woodpeckers have been all over the place in the Northeast. Lucie Atchison, of course, featured this one from Larder Lake. That is a great shot. I've seen them around in the backyard of my place in Wanapitei as well. So they're hungry, and Lucie, you're doing a great job of feeding them. That's also very kind of you. Anthony Keating, the president and CEO of Health Sciences North Foundation, will drop by right after the break to talk about why it's important to support healthcare, not only in Sudbury, but the rest of Northeastern Ontario.
As you know, HSN is a regional hospital here in Northeastern Ontario. We take care of patients throughout the region, and government doesn't pay for everything that happens at a hospital. And so it's a really important initiative where we can use those funds to invest in equipment, in research, in growing Health Sciences North and making our hospital bigger. And that's really the importance of fundraising and the HSN 50/50 lottery.
Is it enough? I mean, it's always a struggle to generate the necessary funds.
Yeah, so we have to make difficult decisions every year to figure out what it is we are going to fund, because the list of equipment needs, the list of program needs, the growing need of Health Sciences North is very significant. And so it isn't enough, but we really appreciate what people in Sudbury and Northeastern Ontario contribute on an annual basis, and we're a growing organization. We're a growing charity. Our lottery is growing. All of our other fundraising programs are growing, and that's why we continue to build and grow what it is we need to do, because what we need to do and how we need to care for our patients is continuing to grow.
So if there's a message that you'd like to share with viewers, not only this evening, but for the rest of the year for 2026, we're into a new year, what would you say?
Yeah, I think it's really important for people to understand that when they do support their local hospital and their local community, that those funds stay directly in that community, and they are going to support priority healthcare needs in their community. So for us at Health Sciences North, our community is Northeastern Ontario, and so when you support Health Sciences North, you're supporting everybody in the region. And as we know, Health Sciences North was built too small, and we have a massive project on the horizon where we are going to be investing in raising more money to meet the needs of the future, and that's going to be an important piece of work that we take on in the next couple of years.
Thanks for doing this, and good luck with the big draw coming up on Friday.
Thank you so much.
Anthony Keating, of course, President and CEO of the Health Sciences North Foundation. Remember, get your ticket in before the deadline. The deadline is Thursday, the big draw happening on Friday.
Thanks for that, Rick. New vehicles are becoming a luxury item for many drivers as car prices hit record highs with little relief in sight. The industry had mostly recovered from pandemic supply chain issues, only to be hit hard by inflation, tariffs, and other factors. CTV's Pat Foran has details.
If you're in the market for a new vehicle, get ready for sticker shock. According to Auto Trader, a new car in 2019 sold for about $40,000. In 2025, the average price jumped to more than $63,000. The median price of a used car 6 years ago was just under $19,000. Last year, the price almost doubled to more than $35,000.
This is the new norm. So if you have been thinking about, okay, it used to be $25,000, now they're mid-30s, I'm going to wait it out, I would not suggest that.
If you're buying new, watch out for dealership add-ons. You could be pitched extras you may not want or need.
Add-on products can add hundreds, even thousands of dollars to the price of the vehicle. So don't let a dealership pressure you into paying for them or tell you that they're mandatory. They're absolutely not.
Leasing can make sense for some drivers, but before you lease, there are trade-offs to consider.
Make sure you know what the mileage limits are, the fees that you could face at the end of that lease, and any sort of maintenance or repairs that you have to pay when you turn in the car at the end of the lease.
When it comes to financing, if you're buying new, you may be able to get incentives such as reduced interest rates through the manufacturer. If buying used, it can pay off to check with your bank or credit union.
Sometimes dealerships offer promotional financing, which can save you a lot of money. But at the very least, talking to the bank gives you a baseline that you can compare against what the dealer offers.
And when it comes to those really long 84 or 96-month loans, think twice. The monthly payment may seem lower, but interest can drive the overall cost much higher.
The rate you're paying off the vehicle is far too slow, and the vehicle is going to depreciate faster than the rate you're paying it off.
Whether you're buying new or used or leasing, don't feel rushed into signing a contract. There is no cooling off period when purchasing a car. Take the time to know what you're agreeing to save you stress down the road. Pat Foran, CTV News.
A Canadian recruiter has released a list of the top 15 most in-demand jobs for 2026. The positions range from healthcare workers to forklift operators. CTV's Matt Gilmore reports.
A new year and fresh prospects for young Canadians looking to enter the workforce.
Well, they're actually frontline operational roles, a lot of them, and they're really focused on
human connection and front-facing relationship building.
According to Randstad, the top 5 jobs companies will be looking to fill in 2026 are sales associate, administrative assistant, customer service representative, accounting technician, and receptionist. Nancy D'Onofrio says most of the jobs on the list are entry to mid-level, but with AI, they're evolving.
I think there's a lot of discussion as well that AI is replacing roles, but if you look at these roles that are very human focused and relationship based, they're actually elevating these roles.
Healthcare is another area where D'Onofrio says there will be job opportunities in 2026. Nurses, pharmacy technicians, and dental assistants are also in the top 15 most in-demand jobs.
We're obviously seeing a huge shortage in healthcare because there's a lot of retirements that are happening as well.
Perhaps most surprisingly, forklift operator has squeezed into the top 15 this year. D'Onofrio says that's due to the rise of e-commerce and demand on supply chains. Going forward, she expects even more opportunities in logistics and construction.
By 2027, there's going to be a shortage of 172,000 workers.
Most of the jobs on the list pay an average of between $50,000 and $70,000 per year. Economist Moshe Lander says that's a decent starting point for young Canadians, but still low compared to Canada's cost of living.
Is that going to get you an affordable cost of living? And most Canadians at $50,000 to $60,000 are going to say, no, it won't.
That's why he says it's important to look for jobs with opportunities for growth.
If it's merely something to pass the time between 9 and 5, Monday to Friday, it's going to be really hard to get those above inflation wages because your productivity is just going to stagger.
Food for thought for the many young Canadians preparing to enter the job market, nervous about their chances of getting ahead. Matt Gilmore, CTV News.
There is not one, but 2 titles on the line. Still ahead on CTV News at 6. Northern Ontario women's and men's curling championships are underway in North Bay. Eric Tashner checks out the action for us. It's a busy week for our curling association, the North Bay Granite Club. Some of the top curlers from across the north are competing right now in the 2026 men's and women's provincial championships. CTV's Eric Tashner has more.
Ready to step out on the ice and hoping to sweep the competition aside is Team Bonneau from Thunder Bay.
Great to be back in North Bay. Mike and I, my teammate, we played the mixed provincial here a few years ago and we had success. So it's exciting to be back and playing another provincial championship here.
Team Bonneau is off to a good start at the 2026 provincial championships, winning their first match Tuesday.
We got to play a U18 team last night that played really well. They're local and it's exciting to see the new generation coming up.
There are 23 teams fighting for glory. 16 men's and 7 women's. The competitive bonspiel features some of the top curling talent from the north, including last year's champions, Team Krista Scharf from the women's and Team John Epping on the men's side, who have an enthusiastic fan base.
Oh yeah, we're here for the week. We don't miss curling. We travel all over the world. What enticed me here from the beginning is it stops and it's a real thinking sport.
The winners of the competition qualify for the national championships known as the Brier and the Scotties. Since the curling club got the successful bid to host the competition, over 90 volunteers have been involved.
We're very fortunate that we have so many wonderful people in our community, part of the North Bay Granite Club, that want to be involved and want to help out and donate their time.
The Granite Club is celebrating its 75th anniversary this season and couldn't be more thrilled to welcome the most elite teams to North Bay.
We've hosted 2 Grand Slams of curling here in the city of North Bay, and then going back to 2018, we hosted the World Women's event here as well. So we're constantly trying to put bids in.
The women's and men's champions are going to be crowned on Sunday. Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
To the NOJHL, where it was all about special teams in Blind River last night as the Beavers played host to the Sioux Thunderbirds. 4 of the 5 goals scored in this one were on the power play. Thunderbirds' Wyatt Groff with the only 5-on-5 goal contributing to his team's 3-2 victory. In the OHL, the Sudbury Wolves head west tonight to take on the Sioux Greyhounds at 7:07. The Wolves have traded 2 of their top forwards this week, while the Hounds are picking up new pieces. Greyhounds fans will soon be cheering too as World Junior goaltender Carter George is headed to Sault Ste. Marie. The Thunder Bay native has been with Owen Sound for 3.5 seasons and was a second-round pick of the LA Kings in 2024. George comes to the Sault in exchange for 7 priority selection picks, just days after winning bronze with Team Canada Monday. The OHL trade deadline is this Friday. For more on this week's trades, tune in Friday night as Rick Wyman and Brian Cooper break down all the hockey trades in hockey this week. And a backyard hockey rink on a Quebec lake is getting attention thanks to a homemade Zamboni built from scratch. As CTV's Dave Charbonneau tells us, it definitely gets put to work between periods.
And in 2010, I decided to start doing a skating rink on the lake.
For Chris Flynn, building a rink on Long Lake in Mayo, Quebec, northeast of Gatineau, has been a labor of love for more than a decade. But keeping the ice smooth wasn't always easy. Until now.
The last year, year or two, Stefan has helped me to take it to another level.
That next level came from his neighbor, Stéphane Dehaye, and a machine he built by hand.
What we like about it, it's the same shape as a real Zamboni.
The project started with old equipment and a lot of problem solving.
I had an old lawnmower machine and I started from there.
The homemade Zamboni uses hot water, just like the real thing, making a big difference. The result? Smooth, glistening ice.
We're able to use hot water, which cures and repairs the ice better than cold water.
The machine even rolls out between periods, turning a pickup game into something straight out of an arena.
So it's everyone's true dream. In between periods, this miniature Zamboni came and did the rink.
The video of that moment has now gone viral, but for Dehaye, the payoff is much simpler.
It's a lot of work to maintain the rink on the lake, but every time we got people using it, it's a reward for us.
A homemade Zamboni, a backyard rink, and a neighborhood project that shows just how far Canadians will go for the love of the game. Dave Charbonneau, CTV News.
Netflix wraps up one project and announces another. Douglas Hyde has that and more in tonight's Hollywood Report.
This is not over. Not by a long shot.
The end of Stranger Things has helped make it one of Netflix's most watched English language series ever. The hit show's 5th season drew more than 31 million views the week of its finale and has received more than 105 million total views and counting. Stranger Things now sits at number 9 on the all-time list.
I am the outlaw. Robin Hood.
A new trailer is giving us our first look at Hugh Jackman in The Death of Robin Hood. The Australian actor offers a gritty, violent take on the classic English thief. The new film shows Robin Hood coming to terms with his violent past and living long enough to see himself become a legend. The Death of Robin Hood hits screens this year.
Star Search, the world's greatest talent competition.
The talent judges for Netflix's Star Search revival have been revealed. Jelly Roll, Sarah Michelle Gellar, and Chrissy Teigen are joining the reboot. The 5-week competition kicks off January 20th and will feature new episodes Tuesdays and Wednesdays. In Hollywood, I'm Douglas Hyde.
Washington is wasting no time taking control of the oil industry in Venezuela, and that poses a risk to Canada's industry. BNN Bloomberg's Mirella Fernandez has more.
The U.S. now says it will control Venezuela's oil industry indefinitely. Washington also says it is importing over $2 billion worth of oil from Venezuela. The barrels of heavy crude will be refined in the U.S. The news sent the global price of oil down today, but Canadian crude has been slipping all week, with concerns that the heavy, sour crude Venezuela will export will compete with similar Canadian product. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is down to 72.16. West Texas Intermediate is down to 56.32. Western Canadian Select down over $1 to 43.05. And the TSX lost 271 points today, but remains above 32,000. Those are your business headlines. I'm Mirella Fernandez.
And here are the current prices for some key commodities we watch. Gold down $38.46, closing the day at $44.5633 US an ounce. Silver down $3.09 to end the day at $78.19. Copper slipped 4 cents to $5.91, and nickel up 47 cents, ending the day at $8.12 US a pound. And Rick is back now for one last look at your Thursday weather.
Well, just ahead of the rain and snow to come on Friday, Tony, we've got to look at our temperatures for tomorrow. Chance of drizzle, 2 degrees in Greater Sudbury. Timmins, some cloudy skies at 3. Mostly cloudy in the Sault, 3 degrees, the odd sunny break as well. In North Bay, clearing at 2, 5 degrees, sun and cloud in Parry Sound, might be the place to be. And Temiskaming Shores, 3 degrees, chance of drizzle at 40%. Enjoy, Tony, back to you.
Thanks, Rick. And finally, at the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas, LEGO is showcasing a piece of the future with the toy company's first ever smart brick.
And I can engage these two in battle. And you can see the registration here on this brick. And when I insert that...
The new light-up brick contains a chip and a speaker, allowing it to interact with whatever design it's a part of, as seen here with Star Wars models. While LEGO describes it as its biggest innovation ever, reaction from fans has been somewhat underwhelmed, but the company says the new tech is here to stay. And folks, that's CTV News at 6. I'm Tony Ryma. Thanks for watching. More news comes your way at 11:30 with Ian Campbell. Good night.